My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 176. Okay then, let's give it a try. Fu tilde sui tilde sha tilde gu tilde. The four spirits joyously moved around and around the onsen. It looks like some kind of suspicious ritual. Well, they're excited. They were all for helping me out with this apparently. Okay then, let's do it. Okay, I'll help. And so me and Hesty began to make several different bathtubs. This time we weren't using dragon scales, but regular wood. It was much more abundant and easy to use. I could dismantle it or remake it easily. Alright, it's filled with hot water. Now water and wind spirits start putting in some power. Sui tilde. They followed my orders and began to insert their power into the bathtub walls. Soon the spirits' powers were manifested in the water. Boo. Inside the bathtub there were water currents and bubbles. The bubbles rode the currents and floated to the surface. It's bubbling and foaming a lot. Is it fine? Yeah, this foam is good. I put my hand inside and the bubbles felt great. I could definitely tell that it'd feel wonderful to submerge myself in them. I wanted to see if I could make something like a jacuzzi and it turns out I could. The spirits were energetically using their powers. It looked almost like this was a game for them and didn't seem burdensome. This was great for me. I can give a single order and enjoy a bath like this. Okay, Hesty, give this a try. It's fine if you just to your hands or feet. Gee, got it. Hesty looked like she didn't know what a jacuzzi was, so she was a bit confused as she stuck her foot into the bubbling bath. Then, after feeling it out for several seconds, it tickles. But, this might be nice too. Her cheeks loosened so it looked like this was a positive review. Then we can use this. Okay then. Next, Earth and Fire Spirits. I'll leave it to you. The Earth Spirit made some flat stones and lined them up on the ground. Next, the Fire Spirit lightly used its power. The stones were heated. If you placed your hands above them you'd feel heat rising from them. This temperature should be fine. All that's left is a wooden sheet that's easy to lie on. That's it for the bedrock for the bath. I lay down on it and felt a comfortable warmth from it. It wasn't too hot nor too cold. It was a great balance. This should be good. Hesty, how about it? It's warm. But, is this a bath? I suppose it's a kind of bath. I didn't know too much about it, but it warmed you and made you sweat. So it was probably a type of bath. Right now it was an open air bath. However, later I was thinking of making a cabin around it so it could be used year-round. I honestly wanted to make something like a mud bath too. I was thinking of using the Earth Spirit's power, but I feel like maintaining the mud bath would be troublesome. I should rethink it. As a result I made a stone sauna instead. This would definitely be easier to maintain. Plus it was user-friendly. Now that I see what mixing in the spirit's power does, it opens up some avenues. This is pretty fun. Well, I suppose. I do think that this is a bit strange to be using the four spirits for this though, Hesty said while using the stone sauna as a seat. Even if you say that, the only spirits I know are the four elemental spirits and Sakura, so it can't be helped. If I knew other spirits then I could ask them to lend me their power, but I don't. Besides, the four elemental spirits look like they're having fun. I think the only one who would make a bath with the four spirits is you. I'll have to experience it fully, Hesty said and stretched out on the stone sauna. It seems like she likes it a lot, and so, with the four element spirits' help I was able to add 2 functions to my bathing area. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 177. Master lunch is ready. Oh, you're still in the middle of working? Well, I'm at a good stopping point so it's fine. This is a chair, as Sakura said. I was making a chair near the onsen. It was made of wood and was quite large. I made it so that I would have a place to relax after taking a bath. It's not a regular chair. I made it so I can completely relax in it. I sat down in it. I had adjusted the properties of the wood so that it would act like a cushion. I could feel a pleasant resistance and softness on my backside. It didn't feel irregular at all. It was a good chair. I thought this and moved my back forward and backwards, then the back of the chair reclined all the way back. Ah, it was a reclining chair? I was thinking of wanting a chair I could sleep in. I wouldn't make it just to use after a bath. There were more people coming to the garden on a regular basis after all. I was thinking that it would be best to make more chairs so they could sit. Is that so? Is this made of golem materials? Oh, as I thought you realized it. This chair itself is a golem. I wanted to make a normal chair at first, but the reclining chair's balance was surprisingly hard to get right. I wouldn't be able to control how much it would recline, and I didn't have the appropriate knowledge either. For that reason, I had to make sure that my body would be safe sleeping in it by making it into a golem. I used the techniques that I used in making the wood armor. I didn't know how to make delicate functions after all. It's helpful that I can make it like this. I see. Certainly if it's a golem then it can automatically adjust itself. Once I stood up from it I could order it to become a regular wood golem, and the opposite was true as well. It was much better than a normal chair. Furthermore, if someone really heavy leaned back it wouldn't fall over, as expected of Master. You thought of a new way to use golems. I think so, too. I couldn't understand, when you talked about sitting on golems, but it became like this. Hesty said, sitting on her own trial product. In fact, she was completely lazing around on it. From her head to her feet she was laying there in complete luxury. How does that one feel? It's great. For sleeping. The recliner that Hesty sat on was more like a bed. It was big enough that even I could lie down on it. However, since it was a golem it was easy to store. Thinking of it like that makes it very convenient. Once it turns back to golem form it can move itself too. It was a golem, so if I wanted, it could move itself. There was no need to carry it, so you could set it up anywhere you wanted. Your thoughts are really flexible. Moving furniture is very convenient. Well, yeah, but it's less like I'm flexible and more like I'm lazy. It was from those thoughts that this idea originated. But I just thought of something. If these golems can move, then we can take these on our trip. Ah, that's true. We didn't know what facilities there would be by the lake, but by bringing the golems along we could create our own. In that case we could bring our own equipment. Okay then. I wonder what trial products we should bring with, not only chairs but tables and various things that could transform. If a single golem could be made into several things, the trip would become easier. Oh, that sounds nice. I'll help too, Master. Ooh, I'm glad for it. But first, I'll fill my stomach. Making things like this got me hungry. First I should eat. Foo. Got it. The food is ready. Hesty-chan, come and eat too. Thank you. And so I ate lunch and prepared golem equipment for the trip. Diania was handing documents over to the Knight Captain. Knight Captain, I'll leave this to you. The Knight Captain looked at the papers and looked amazed. This is the plan for the area near the fort city? Is this alright? Yes, I'll leave it to you. Though it was a private beach, they would have to schedule a time for its use, the extent of it, and the budget assigned to it, or there would be disorder. For that reason she had blocked out 2 weeks. There shouldn't be anyone else using it except for the group. With that thought in mind she drew up these plans. I think this should be alright, but what do you think? Yes. I don't think there's an issue, but you're reserving such a great and large area. To think that you're taking almost all of T. We need to take care. Daiki Dano is going there. If we don't go this far it'd be an embarrassment. Usually it wouldn't be the bigger the better, but Daiki was coming with. It was better to have more space for several reasons. I see. Time-wise it should be enough for the Knights training as well. Oh, came to think of it, it was time for the Knights to do that again. This time we may be able to combine guarding and training together if we escort you. Roger that. The area where the Knights hold their training camps was quite close to the private beach, so there shouldn't be an issue with it. In all honesty, just staying near Daiki Dano for extended periods is training enough. It's about time for the young Knights to work on their courage. That's good to know. Hopefully they grow well. Diana nodded and looked at her hands. She needed to continue growing as well. This trip is a pleasure trip for them. I need to make sure I don't make it weird by getting too fired up. Yes, we need to be careful about not messing things up. We can't cause Daiki Dono trouble by being too obsessed with training. As long as you're aware of that, it should be fine, Diana said and took out another sheet of paper. On it she had her schedule. It looks like I should be able to finish working before heading out. You work too much, princess. You haven't taken a proper break since the week before. Really? Recently she had been training her body and magic. Due to that she had become stronger with more endurance. She was at the point where she only got dizzy after working non-stop for 3 days with no rest. In all honesty, I do not believe that princess needs to train any more than this. You are already so strong and tough as a human that it's not even funny, you know? Phew. Really? As for almost not needing to sleep. She didn't think that was really strength. You have enough stamina that us knights were near the point of passing out trying to keep up with you. It was true that she remembered something like that happening during those 3 days and nights. In the end, the only person left besides her was the knight captain. Well, that's natural for someone who stands above. There's no need to worry about it. Furthermore, I'll be resting as much as I please in a while, Diana said as she looked at her schedule. After a few days her schedule would be completely open for an entire week. As long as there's no pressing trouble, I'll be able to rest completely. I just need to be a bit obstinate until then. I think you could take some time off every now and then and not just then. But I'm glad you're taking a break, the knight captain said after looking at her schedule and sighing. Be that as it may, we knights will do our best to fill in for you. Princess, please enjoy your vacation as much as you please. Yes, I'll take it easy after so long. For that purpose. I need to work a little more. Roger that, princess. And so the night wore on. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 178. Okay, come line up, Tilda. I called out and the golems all walked over. The ones I had completed were the chair golem, waterbed golem, and 3 water golem chairs. They looked like normal golems but transform. With that one word, the golems became chairs and a bed. They displayed the form I had set for them. It was easy and natural and they barely made any sound. Visually, I thought it looked pretty cool. When I needed them to change back, release, I said, and they turned back to normal golems. With only 2 words they could be cleaned up and transported. I thought they were extremely useful and allowed myself to feel a bit of pride for thinking of it when, somehow, I feel like I've seen something outrageous, Hesty said after seeing them. She seemed to be half surprised and half philosophical, accepting things as they come. In what way? Well, they seem like they'd cause trouble in various ways. Really? I emphasized mobility, so they're quite thin. Usually I made bulky golems. However, as expected, you'd want things like chairs to be light and easy to carry. With that in mind, the golems were quite thin. I guess. So. They're really comfortable and relaxing, so I guess I can't say much, Hesty said as she threw herself down on the waterbed. She jiggled up and down on it so you could clearly tell it had great elasticity. Yeah, that waterbed feels really nice, doesn't it? I made the wood covering really well so you can feel the coolness from it. I think it turned out quite well. The texture turned out well too. What's more is that it moderately cooled your entire body and softly held you. Also the fact that if you get too cold, the golem will change the water temperature. It's nice. I was a bit surprised, but since it didn't feel hostile, I was at ease. That's right. The good point of golem furniture was that it could take their user's health and body condition into consideration. Well, I was the one who put this system and setting into place, but having an item that matches your body is great. If you sit in a chair or lie in a bed that doesn't feel good and doesn't fit you, would only exacerbate your exhaustion. For that reason the golems were abnormally useful. As I was thinking that, what is that? It wasn't here. Yesterday, finally Hesty noticed the thing near me. It was in a chair shape, but there were two arms attached to its back. Oh, I made this one early in the morning. I tried to make a massage hair golem. Massage hair. It rubs your shoulders? Yeah, these two hands do it. However, the golem's power is hard to adjust, so it's still incomplete. Well, let me show you a demonstration. I sat down to demonstrate to Hesty. The moment I sat down, the golem's hands moved around to my shoulders and began to massage them. It was soft. This would be fine on its own, but it seems probable that the golem could do it much too hard. Yeah. That's the thing. It was possible to change the amount of power. Right now she could see its power was at its weakest. Thinking about the user and the golem, I should improve it before putting it into use. Hesty watched from the side and knit her eyebrows. Somehow, it looks like a vice being used to pick up cooked beans. That's the level of control. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. I suppose. But this is all it's capable of. Even if it continued massaging so softly, it would inversely make your shoulders stiffer. It was a test product to the very end. For now, I had 3 types of new golems. With this number, I could say that I had done a good job. Also, I've still got more time. Next, I wanna try and improve it using magic stones. Got it. I still had more time to work on them. I'll enjoy it slowly. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there, I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 179. Daiki Dano. I've came to report about the beach schedule and WH. What are these troops for? Oh, it's you, Diania? It looked like she was shrinking away after seeing the golems. Are you making soldiers again, Daiki Dano? Well, they're not soldiers. These are portable furniture for when I go far away. Furniture? Is that so? Diania said as she timidly nodded and approached once more. She'd always been surprised by the golems, but she'd gotten used to them recently, so maybe that's why she was quick to adjust. Well, yeah, I guess so. It's nice to have personal furniture. I felt like her eyes were unfocused, but, hey, are you okay? Why, yeah, I'm fine. I guess we'll be able to converse like this. It should be alright. Okay then. You said you got permission for the beach? Thanks for that. Oh, don't mind it. I wanted to go as well, so so this is the schedule I got this time. Please make your plans accordingly, Diania stated and handed me a piece of paper. The number of days the private beach was available was written there, but, 2 weeks? Is such a long time really okay? It was quite a bit of time. I don't think we'll be using it for that long though. I had planned to only stay there for 2 or 3 days. I was thinking, but Diania nodded her head. Don't worry, use it as you want. We're considerably indebted to you. Please let us do this much at least. This won't cause problems with the normal customers, so don't worry about that either. I see. Well, okay, I'll use it freely then. They allowed us to use their private beach after all. I also wanted to explore the place a bit. It'd be perfect to head back once I got tired of it. Be that as it may, we now had more specific plans as I placed the paper in my pocket. Daiki Dano, I just wanted to ask something. What color do you like? Diania asked as if mumbling. Color? You mean like white or red? Why, yeah, that's right. I was wondering if there was a color you liked. Well, not one that really stands out. I never really fussed over things like colors. Actually, why are you asking? Well, it was just a personal interest. Like, if you hated black or orange or something. That's a pretty weird interest. But I can say that I don't have much of a preference, I said, and Diania's face brightened up. Oh good. Thank you. Why? Well, you answered my personal curiosity and helped me decide various things. What kind of lake would you like to swim in? Well, one without really high waves. I'd only seen the lake on the map and it looked quite huge. For that reason, I expected there would be some waves. If they were too big, it'd make swimming difficult. It'd definitely feel different from the Cataractas Lake on the plains. Whether or not I swam would depend on the conditions. But still, since I'll be on the beach, I'll have my swimsuit on. I'll swim if I want then. I see, got it, I got it, Diana said with a huge smile. You seem like you've been having a great time since a while ago. I heard from Athena about the lake and I was jealous. I wanted to go swimming with you too. Oh, was that so? Then if the waves are alright, I'll probably go swimming with you. I'll be in your care. Her already happy face became even more joyful. Then after we talked for a while, Diana happily left. It looks like it'll be a fun trip. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 180. We decided that we would set off for the lake the day after tomorrow. We weren't in any hurry, so we wanted to take the next day to prepare and then set off comfortably the day after. That was the schedule. Then I'll tell Manaril. If I tell her, then she'll let the other Dragon Kings know, Hesty said and went to spread the news. It seems she would use the Dragon King telepathy to communicate with Manaril. It was a good thing she lived nearby. With this, telling the others wouldn't be a problem. With these thoughts, Hesty and I returned to our garden work when Daiki-san, Hesty. Hello there, Tilda. Ramiro's walked in from the forest. How should I say it? It felt like it had been a while, but hey, what's up? Well, Manaril told me a while ago that Daiki-san and everyone are going on a trip. Yeah, are you coming to Ramiro's? I plan to. It's just, I'd be really sad if I didn't get up on time on the day of the trip and end up not going, she said, and Hesty frowned. If it's Ramiro's, it's possible. There was a time when she forgot to get up and slept for nearly 2 months. That's mean, Tilda. Even though I was trying not to bring that up, Tilda, Ramiro's whined with teary eyes, but I could definitely see this carefree Dragon King having the tendency to oversleep. But if you run over, then you could make it. Well, I guess, but I definitely want to go with everyone. That's why I came to ask you both if I could stay with Hesty till we leave. I see. Indeed. If she stayed with Hesty, then she wouldn't forget to wake up. Hesty was diligent. She wasn't the type to be late. Well, there were times when Hesty was careless though. There were times when she didn't sleep and just zoned out. However, it was more reassuring than Ramiro's by herself. She was reliable in various ways. How about it, Daiki-san? I don't really mind, but shouldn't you be asking Hesty? The place you'll be staying is her cabin after all, I said and looked at Hesty as she nodded. If you say so, then I'm fine too. Really? But you can't cause trouble. You can't turn into a dragon here. If you rampage half asleep, I'll beat you up, okay? I got it. But thank you, Hesty and Daiki-san, Ramiro said with a happy smile. Also, I can pay the rent to stay with some of my scales. You mean those giant scales? I had pretty much used them up making my onsen. Since then I hadn't gotten any more. They were quite good materials. That's right. They're big, so I left them elsewhere, but I can bring them over. Well, though I'm grateful. Is it alright to just hand them out? If it was hard for them, then I would feel troubled just accepting. Recently I've started to grow new scales to replace the old. I can give you the ones that come off. Honestly, I didn't have a place to discard them. The only ones I know who can manufacture them are Hesty and Daiki-san. Really? Within the cities there should be blacksmiths. I thought they would be able to handle them. It's quite difficult. They are both hard and large. That's right, Tilda. When it's time to grow new scales, I have to leave town to find some place to dispose of them. Living in town is a hassle, Tilda. But this time Daiki-san and Hesty can use them, so I'm happy. So please take them all, Daiki-san. Fumu. Alright. If she's giving, then I'll take them. One way or another, they were good materials without a doubt. The materials that Ramiro's brought had a good feeling to them. There were quite a few uses for them. I might even take the time to make furniture out of them before the trip. After all, the timing was great. Okay then, best regards for a bit, Ramiro's. I'll be in your care, Daiki-san. Hesty. And so, my home gained another guest. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 181. By the way, did you bring your luggage for the Trip Ramiro's, like a swimsuit? Hesty asked. It made me wonder since Ramiro's hadn't brought anything. She wasn't carrying a bag or anything, so I wonder if she forgot her things in town, as I thought that, luggage, swimsuit. What are those? Things went in an unexpected direction, leaving aside a change of clothes. How do you plan on swimming in the lake? Obviously nude, and in a certain way. She gave an expected response. Oi, even if it's a private beach you can't be going naked. As expected, this was a line that shouldn't be crossed. I think so too. If we don't go shopping, it might be bad. But I'm not really knowledgeable about fashion. Hestes looked to be at a loss, but I wasn't much better in my fashion sense. I don't really know anything about the clothing in town. I had plenty of clothes in my drawers and closet, so I just needed to mix and match them. My clothes weren't badly worn, so I had no need to make any additional purchases since I got here. In the first place, I didn't even know Ramiro's size. What should we do? Should we go into town and get some? Yeah, I think that'd be best. Got it. It's just that I don't know much about fashion, so I'm a little uneasy. As I was about to tell her to try, nonetheless, Anusa Matilda, did you call for me, the fashionista? I don't even know where she came from, but Anne ran over with great vigor, smiling as she latched onto Hesty. The moment Anne appeared, Hesty understood what was about to happen and, she simply stood there looking like a dead fish without resisting. It seems she'd grown numb to it and given up. Daiki-sama, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a little while. Yes, and so Anu-sama. I'm honored that you called this trendy Dragon King. I didn't call you, but this time, it's whatever. Anyways, did you hear what we were talking about? Yes, it was about a swimsuit, right? It seems she was listening. Anne hugged Hesty as she placed her bag down on the ground. This is the perfect opportunity. I've brought several swimsuits today, she said, and took out many different swimsuits. Their colors and shapes were all mixed up, but there were quite a few. What's up with this? Well, I thought that since we were going to a resort we should have some new things. I made Anu-sama's clothing and swimsuit myself in the past after all. Oh, is that so? I was kind of surprised. I had known that item creation was her specialty, but it looks like she was good with needlework as well. I have enough for Anu-sama, Ramiro-sama, and everyone. If you lose something over there, or if you need to change, or anything else, I made plenty, and divided up the sizes of the many swimsuits. This is Anu-sama's portion. I think this one would look good. Could you check the size? I'm fine with my old one. Also, get off of me. Hesty escaped from Anne's hug and unsteadily made her way to my side. For now, it looks like we'll be fine. Ooh, good job. It seems like in exchange for some of Hesty's spirit we'd secured Ramiro's swimsuit. I should give Hesty something delicious. I was thinking, when Daiki-sama, go ahead as well. I prepared these for you. It'd be nice if you could check the size, Anne said as she held out a nicely sewn pair of swim trunks. Oh, thank you. I didn't know what it was made from, but it was comfortable to the touch. I barely had any swimsuits, so I was grateful for this. I'll pay you later. No number. There's no need to do so. Being able to go along on Daiki-sama's and Anu-sama's trip is more than enough. Anne said as she began to drool in excitement. I could understand why Hesty was hiding behind me and shivering. Well, then I'll accept it. Yes, also I have made yours using special materials. Since you have such powerful magic powers, they won't tear open even if you use your magic. So go ahead and use your powers as you please. Wait, if I use my magic while wearing my swimsuit, it can fly off of me? For thin clothing there is a possibility of them bursting or tearing off. However, with my special make there is no danger of that. I see. I had no idea that clothing could get destroyed by magic like that. I learned something new today, and so, I received a new swimsuit with gratitude. The swimsuit that Anne brought was all well and good, but she didn't know if it would fit. That's why she borrowed the onsen's changing room and checked the swimsuit size. This is too big. The first suit she tried, the white bikini, fell off of her limply. It couldn't hold on. Did I make it a bit too big? The chest area is loose. I'm sorry. Then how about this? Hesty accepted a one-piece swimsuit from Anne and changed into it. This one wrapped around her body without falling. This one should be okay. I'll show him as well. That's right. Inu-sama choosing a swimsuit thinking about Daiki-sama is so cute. Wonderful. I have other styles, so don't hold back and try them. Hesty backed away as Anne's face and breathing became disordered and she checked how the swimsuit felt. With this one, even if she needed to move quickly there shouldn't be an issue. As she was thinking that, wow, this is fun, it really stretches. Ramiro emerged from a separate changing room. She was wearing a green-colored bikini and messing with the bikini top. Just as she said, it's stretched. Yes, it is made using water strider's shell and treated with a special mixture to soften it. Its elasticity is excellent. It really is. This is a bit small, Ramiro said and stopped stretching the bikini top, allowing it to tighten on her chest. It was clearly squeezing her breasts tightly and it looked quite uncomfortable. Oh, Ramiro-sama, you've gotten bigger again? That's right, I like taking it easy but I keep getting bigger. It make clothing a problem, Ramiro said with a troubled look on her face as Hesty turned her gaze towards her. You are lacking training. You continue gathering power, that's why this happens. That might be so. Hesty's so good at controlling power. How? Why did you pinch me? I got irritated. Being so soft and flabby isn't good, Hesty said and stopped pinching Ramiro's tummy before pinching her own cheek. She thought to herself, I chose the best figure, and nodded when, Ramiro's had been bending back and forth testing her swimsuit. As she bent forward her breasts burst out of the swimsuit, then they dropped onto Hesty's head. Hesty's pouting. Oh wow, sorry, it was an accident. Ow. The expressionless angry Inu-sama is splendid as well. Hesty separated herself from Ramiro's chest and calmly walked towards the onsen. I'm fine, being small. It doesn't bother me. The sulking Inu-sama is wonderful. Oh, I didn't even do anything wrong. By the way, Antilda, do you have any other new swimsuits? Yes, here. Ramiro's changed into the new swimsuit she'd been given. This is kind of fresh seeing you be particular about clothing, Ramiro's. Well, I guess I've caused Daiki-san quite a bit of trouble, so I need to at least do this well, Ramiro said with a giggle. Somehow, it seems you're really gotten used to people. I guess so. I've been living on land for quite a while now, or I've gotten used to it and started to enjoy myself. There are things I'm not used to, but even so I'm having a great time being with everyone, Ramiro said while Anne and Hesty nodded. You're right, that we can all meet like this at ease is really great. I never thought that the day would come where Dragon Kings could come together and play like this. I'm grateful to Daiki for this. The three of them exchanged glances and laughed. Then let's choose some swimsuits for our outing. I'd like to give Daiki a feast for his eyes. I don't know if it'll bear fruit though. Well, let's choose something pretty and easy to move in. And so the Dragon Kings continued their swimsuit selection. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 182. It looks like they're in the second half of choosing their swimsuits. Why is there such a ruckus from choosing swimsuits? They couldn't actually be fighting, right? Probably it's to test how it feels to wear and swim in. I have some objections to them swimming in the bathtub. But I guess it is pretty wide. I'd have to clean it anyways. Later I'll take my glums to clean it up. Actually, Sakura. Don't you have to go choose your swimsuit too? You were with them for a little while. I could just drink tea by myself while the women folk went off and chose their swimsuits. But Sakura returned early. Don't you need more time to discuss and decide? Well, I made my decision quickly. I received the swimsuits and all that's left is to show it to you, master. To show me, huh? Yes, Of course, if it was simply for swimming there wouldn't be much of a need to select carefully. Fufu, Sakura laughed. Is that so? Yes, Hesti-chan and Diania-san. In fact most women have thoughts like that. They're going to have fun, but they need to care for their appearance. For me the most important factor was that the swimsuit was easy to move in. It was pretty far from my own considerations, but certainly cute girls would be happy to wear cute swimsuits. I could understand that much. Yes, I'll be choosing a cute swimsuit as well. And you won't be wearing it here? I didn't know which swimsuit she chose though. That's right, I chose it for the resort, so I'd be happy if you first saw it there. Well, I guess, since she'd chosen it with a specific destination in mind, it'd be best to see it there. Master, have you chosen your swimsuit? Well, I chose a safe color and a proper size. I didn't have much confidence in my fashion sense. That's why I chose some nice looking ones from amongst the ones Anne had brought. I'd tried each of them on for a bit and they were easy to move in. In fact, they were even easier to move in than any swimsuit I'd worn before. Is that so? I want to see Master in your new swimsuit too. Okay then, once we get there we'll have some more things to look forward to. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, me too. It wasn't just the swimsuits, but the opportunity to have fun at this resort that was wonderful. As I was thinking that, splash, a sound echoed from the onsen. Then after a few dozen seconds, Daiki-sama, thank you for letting us use the onsen. They three Dragon Kings emerged from the changing rooms. We've successfully chosen Tilda, Ramiro's and Anne said with a grin. It looks like they'd chosen some good ones. However, Hesti was being carried out as Anne hugged her. However, her eyes looked dead. In fact they looked more shell-shocked than usual for this situation. Her usual expressionless face had a certain defeated feeling to it. It was subtle, but I'd known her for a while now. Something must have happened inside. I don't know what it was. But yeah. I'll leave it at that. If she wants to talk about it, I'll be there to talk. Furthermore, the second half had ended, so now it was my turn to do some things. Okay. Break time is over. Time to clean, I guess. Yes, I'll help you, Master. Tonight I'll clean the onsen. After that I'll make some more golem furniture. There were only 2 days till we set off. Onsama, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing this instead of taking a break. Remember Karen said that Daiki Dano is going on a trip? I'm packing for that. Inside the bag was a portable staff, clothes, and foodstuffs. Diania was thinking to carry all this with her on the trip. Packing? Is there anything you need to bring? The manager over there said that clothes and food would be prepared. Yeah, I checked and that's true. As Athena said, the place already prepared such things. Diania had teleported there and checked before leaving some instructions. I've already prepared the lodging area, had it cleaned, and had them prepare enough supplies for a month. That was your job, Onsama? As I thought, Onsama does things really well. But why are you packing your luggage then? Certainly the place had plenty of things prepared, so there wasn't really a need to bring them herself. However, she wanted to just in case. It's insurance just to be sure. Besides, bringing luggage won't take any time. Movement-wise she could teleport it in an instant. Daiki Dano might walk or move via magic, and either way was fine. But if they got there faster they'd have more time to play. Once she went to Daiki's house they'd immediately head out to the resort. Luggage shouldn't be much of an issue. Either way it won't be a problem. I'm planning on cooking a little something and bringing it on the day of. Looks like you're doing your best, Onsama. Really? She only wanted to prepare herself completely since this was the first long trip she'd be taking with Daiki. In a sense you could call it fighting spirit. She finally had a chance, so she wanted to enjoy herself. Furthermore, she wanted to get along with Daiki better. Thinking that way she naturally became more enthusiastic. Fufu. Maybe I'm just spinning my wheels, she said with a sarcastic laugh when Athena smiled and shook her head. That's not what I meant. Karen and I are the same. We're excited to go out with Daiki Uni Aizen. Is that so? That's right, Karen's not calm like she usually is. She's been saying things like I need to prepare myself for that day. And shut herself in her room. She hadn't seen Karen for the past few days. That's what happened. That's right, so I was going to drag Karen out of her room pretty soon. So would you like to go out swimsuit shopping with us? Swimsuit. I want to surprise Daiki Ani Aizen with my clothes too. Sama has good sense. Karen also said she wanted a swimsuit. Oh, that was perfect. She had been wanting a new one as well. She had some that Anne had made, but other than that she wanted something individualistic. Okay, just wait a few minutes. I'll finish today's work. Yay, then I'll go call Karen. A short while later, as Diania said, she finished her work and left her office with light footsteps, and so the Dragon King and princesses had fun shopping. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 183. This place is really nice and cool. Ramiro's was lying down on the water golem bed. It seems like she had been sweating quite a bit as her light clothing was practically stuck to her skin. In fact, her top half was practically only clad in underwear. Ramiro's, you're still undressing like this? I'm sensitive to heat. Even though my temperature is being regulated, if I don't do this it won't be any good. It only took one night to prove this. But Ramiro's apparently sweats quite a lot. My garden had water golems sprinkling water and giving off cool mist. Furthermore, the direct sunlight was blocked by the trees, so the temperature here was quite a bit lower than the surroundings. Even so, Ramiro's continued to say that it was hot. Hesti's cabin was underneath the shade of the trees, so it should be quite cool. I had thought that I was sensitive to the heat, but Ramiro's was even more so. At any rate, I'm going to need you to refrain from nudity in the garden. It's troublesome in many ways. Got it. I don't want you to get made, so I won't. You lent me this golem, Daiki-san, so I'm cool enough. I also learned this since last night. Once Ramiro's got hot she started to undress. For that reason I lent her a water golem bed. Daiki-san's water golem is the best. Well, I did make it for the purpose of summering after all. Seeing it prove its usefulness so soon is a good thing. This golem is awesome. Even just hugging it makes me sweat less. Ramiro's said and hugged the golem. However, its body was just water, so she was half sunk into it. Ramiro's was powerful after all. Even so, it didn't break as designed, which was good. I made it so that if you jumped on top of it with all your strength it wouldn't rupture. Also, so the water inside wouldn't get dirty, I had it covered by a special cover made out of wood. It didn't look bad. I once again thought that it was perfect to bring on the trip. Makes me sleepy, and so I thought as I watched Ramiro's drift off to sleep while hugging the bed. So you can even turn it into a body pillow. Dakimakura? Phew, body pillow? Yeah. It's like a supplement for the water golem bed that's more flexible. Like this, I then made another water golem. I made sure to cover it with another specially made wood cover to prevent it from getting dirty. It was pretty much the usual golem, but it was much smaller in size. Okay, now I need to make it more cylindrical. I ordered the newly made golem and it took on the form of a cylindrical body pillow. As usual, Daiki-san makes a variety of golems. It's amazing. Well, I'm the kind of guy that wants to do things once I think of them. Okay then, Ramiro's, this is a pillow for hugging. Give it a try. Oh okay. I handed Ramiro's the finished product and she timidly accepted it. However, once she gave it a hug her eyes became round. Amazing. What is this? It's so silky and cold. Hugging it feels so good. I had imagined a large water pillow when I made it. It didn't have as much usage as the water bed, but if you were a little warm then it was useful. For now it looked like the tactile sensation was good, but let's talk a little more detailed. Ramiro's, is the water too cold? No, it's perfectly fine, it's just a little chilly. I see. If you hugged something really cold to your stomach all the way till morning it'd hurt, so I needed to be careful of that. That's why I tried to make it into a golem that would change temperature slightly. It looks like it went well. After all, If your body became too cold for too long, there would be damage left behind. Usually you'd have to be careful, but with a golem you have some flexibility. With this, even if it was boiling hot, you'd be able to sleep comfortably at night. All that's left trying to improve it. I'd like to make it a little better looking and better functioning. Wadaaki-san, you're pretty particular. I'll help Tilda. Okay, I'll let you judge its comfort level. If I made it look better, but sacrificed the function, there would be no meaning after all. The main goal was to make it the perfect thing to hug while you slept. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 184. You're making a lot of complex golems and magic sensitive tools, Hesty said as she approached. I don't really think it's that much. I couldn't even make 10 even working since the morning. Even so, I think that's more than enough. Are you taking all of these? Rather than bringing them, I'll have them follow. The hug pillow golem, though small, could be ordered to follow us. Looks like it'll be an amazing sight. Well, I'll come up with something so it doesn't become too outlandish, as one would expect. Though it's a private beach, I don't know how much space there'll be. If was to bring way too much luggage, then it'd become cramped. Or so I thought when what apostrophe s. This. Hesty was showing interest in a wooden pole lying next to the golems. Is this a fishing pole? Yeah, we're going to a lake and Manuel said there were fish, right? That's why I made it. It wasn't like fishing was a hobby. However, when I was a kid I enjoyed it quite a bit. Not just going for a swim, it'd be nice to go fishing. Is that so? Certainly, there are a lot of fish there. Hesty nodded. I started to look forward to it a bit more now. Huh? But this fishing rod doesn't have a line. What will you use? Yeah, I'm considering what to use for it. Considering? If I searched my home I'd probably be able to find a suitable string or two. Plus, if I went into town I'd probably be able to buy some. Either way it'd be troublesome. That's why I was wondering if I could use this, I said as I took out a fragment of one of the scales that Ramiro's had given me. However, this scale was pale and soft. That's an immature scale. It's still soft. How will you use it? Well, you remember when I was processing the scales before? When I made it thinner and lengthened it, I was wondering if I made it extremely thin if it would turn out like a string. Thinking that, I firmly gripped the Dragon King scale. Then in my hand, the scale became softer and started stretching. At the end of the soft scale string I had a wooden bobbin attached. Amazing. You really can do it, Hesty said with amazement. To be honest, I did it more as an experiment than anything. For it to go this well was beyond my expectations. Since it was going this well I continued making this scale into string. The scale fragment continued to stretch out into string. It was for fishing so it shouldn't be too thin. Plus it wouldn't function properly if it was too thin. So, I made sure to keep it reasonable. Okay, for now I've got a several meters worth. I wound up the bobbin and the considerable amount of string. At the very least I would have enough to use for this trip, I thought. How should I say ... As always you do absurd things ... There aren't many who could make a dragon's scale into something like this, Hesty said as she touched the thread made of dragon scale with her mouth slightly open. Well, I'm just glad I had the material. I'll have to thank Ramiro's later. Thanks to her I was able to save the time and effort of finding or buying new thread. Now that I had my pole and line I needed a hook. However, this was even simpler. I'll use some scale to make a fish hook ... and make a lure ... And so I finished making them using scale alone. After a few minutes, I put together my own personal fishing rod. Since the string was an experimental good I had made it thicker than normal. The fish may notice it and not take the bait. Even still, I'd just have to adjust it and it'd be fine. All that was left was to test it out. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 185. Though I call them tools, they were only a cooler box, small articles, and a box to place them in. This isn't a box. It became a golem, you know. In front of me was a small wood golem. I was trying to make a normal tool though. Since I did it so much I ended up creating a golem by mistake. I might have golem addiction. Well, yeah. However, this should have an insulation effect, you know. Even the armor I made had fire and cold resistance. It was to the degree of resisting Hesty's flames. Leveraging my experience with that, I made this golem's insides able to cool things. It was a space that you could chill juice and alcohol in. Obviously I could use it for fish as well. Well, I can see the function, just from looking. But why did you make this water golem? Oh, that's a live box for keeping live fish. I was thinking that since it was a golem I could have a walking fish tank instead of needing to carry it. It went surprisingly well. My experience with making water golems was useful in this situation. Well, I guess if you have a place for the fish you caught to swim, they'll be fresh. I'm glad you understand. However, I think that only making golems would be bad for me in a sense. That's why I touched a tree with the intention to make a normal tool. What are you making this time? Another warrior? I don't remember making any warriors. But it is equipment. I partitioned the wood and made it into string. I began to twine it around a nearby golem's fist and started knitting something that looked like cylinder. It looked strange, but unexpectedly it took shape quite quickly. You're good at knitting. I've watched Sakura do it a lot. I can do something basic like this. I continued knitting around and finally the golem's fist was completely covered as I stopped my hands. All that was left was to take it off. Okay then. Imitation straw hat complete. More accurately it should be called a wood hat. Anyways, I was able to make a light hat I could wear. The airflow seemed fine and it would be able to block the sun. If I was going to be fishing under the blazing sun, as expected I would need something like this. However, I seem to have done it a little too broadly and roughly, so it was a little misshapen. So you can make things like this too. Well, it's pretty rough. Well, it's just to cover my head, so it's fine. When I placed the hat on my head, Hesty stared. What's wrong? Hats shouldn't be that odd, right? Well, I was just thinking that I kind of like it. Ooh, Hesty wants something. How rare. Then, if you're fine with the same thing, I can make another. You want one? I asked and Hesty calmly nodded. But, is that okay? It's not troublesome. Yeah, I'm just practicing. It's a practice product, but would you like me to try and make it better? I asked, but Hesty shook her head. The one you just made is good. I see. I'll make another as practice, so just wait there. The feeling of making the previous one was still fresh. With this reproduction I was able to make the shape better and, here, how about this? I was able to finish it much quicker than the last one. I was able to improve on various parts so the brim of the hat ended up a bit larger. Is it a bit too big? It's fine. Hesty took the hat and pressed it onto her head. It looks like it's a good fit. See? Perfect. Also. Thanks. I'll treasure it, Hesty said as she held the hat and smiled. Looking from the side, I felt it was a little too big as expected. But she was happy, so I'm glad. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 186. I had been making string, several types of it in fact. It was in case the string snapped, I would be able to replace it quickly. However, attaching the lure and hook would take some time. That's why I decided to make several of them. I entered my home and messed around with the strings and hooks when, Master, may I help you out? Sakura sat next to me and offered some tea. Okay, then I'll leave that thread to you. Yes, I accepted the tea and took a sip as I tied the string with Sakura. But still, Sakura is really good at working with thread. She was more skilled at tying the thread than I was. It wasn't that I was particularly skilled, it was just that Sakura was so much more skilled that it stood out. I'm happy to receive Master's compliment. However, it's just that I am used to knitting and sewing using thread. That's all, Sakura said with a happy laugh. Then as she smiled she continued tying the string without looking. Watching her like this made me feel that she was amazingly used to it. I followed her example and continued to tie them stiffly. The setting sunlight streamed through the window and engulfed us, making time seem to slow. It's been a while since I sat inside and worked like this. That's right. Recently you've grabbed your things and went out into the garden to work. Comfort-wise though, working is the best. There was good airflow inside and it was cool and comfortable. If I was thirsty I could get a cold drink from the fridge and there wasn't a need to walk around. It was so comfortable. We've fixed up the garden with various things and it's pretty easy to spend time there, but even so I'm reminded that my house is the best. Furthermore, how nice it is that Sakura is here. Foo-foo, I'm honored that you'd say so. Oh, I finished. Oh really? As we were talking Sakura had finished tying up the threads. She really was fast. All I had to do was attach some lures. The one who had it hard was Master, who made all of them. Also there weren't many left. Well, I was doing it for quite some time beforehand. I was also pretty used to it. Then before you finish all of them Master, I'll get dinner ready. Doing such minute work needs concentration, so you must be hungry. Ah, I guess you're right. I am pretty hungry. When you're focused on detailed work like that you'd get hungry and not notice it. Then, once you finished you'd suddenly be attacked by the feeling of your empty stomach. Okay, I'll leave dinner to you. Yes, please do, Sakura said as she stood. However, she seemed as though she recalled something and spoke up. Ah, that's right Master. Since we'll probably be having seafood often for the next few days, what do you think of having meat tonight? Certainly, tomorrow we would be going to the waterfront. Though that doesn't mean we couldn't eat meat. Well, it's also true that I hadn't had meat at home for a while. Then I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I'll make it with all my skill. And so Sakura set off running to the kitchen. I continued my work with the fishing gear. And just like that, the evening before our departure slowly turned to night. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 187. I had finished most of my preparations, and there was quite some time till we were supposed to meet up. Okay then, let's go out into the garden for a while Sakura. Yes, got it Master. After eating breakfast Sakura and I grabbed our bags and leisurely went out into the garden. There. Good morning. Hesty was already there. She had a small bag and a hat I had made for her yesterday. It looks like she was all prepared. How are you feeling? No problems. I'm fine, she said, but near her was Ramiro's snoring away while standing. It looks like she was forced to follow Hesty out of the cabin while still asleep. How can she not wake up after being dragged out of there? She's the type that doesn't react to stimulus much. She'll wake up eventually, Hesty said with eyes that had given up on Ramiro's. As expected of a long-time acquaintance, she knew how to deal with this sleepyhead Dragon King. With that, I'm all okay. Okay, good. Sakura, did we forget anything? No, we have everything and the golems are moving properly. Looking back I saw the golems on standby. Most of them were fairly small, but they were all convenient to use. Looks like there's no issues. I confirmed the golems' movements and maintenance. They were able to perform as intended. Then, Daiki-san, Sakura-san, Hesty. Good morning Manaril appeared from the forest waving her hand. Hey Manaril, you're pretty early for the meetup. Yeah, because I'm looking forward to it. I came early. I wanted to accommodate you as well. I can't leave you waiting. We're not that strict about time, so you can just be at ease, okay? It's not like we had a real schedule. Besides, for the day we leave and the number of days we have available, the rest of the schedule was free for us to choose. That apostrophe s. True. Then I'll just be at ease. Yeah, we have the perfect Dragon King here as an example, I said as I shifted my gaze to Ramiro's. She was still drooling as she slept. I won't go that far, but I'll take it easy. It seems like she gets the idea. How should I say? Ramiro's really never changes. We don't change that much, either. but she really is constant. The Dragon Kings understood each other. Perhaps the treatment of Ramiros was fairly common, I thought as I stared at her when Niui-sama tilde dash. The next Dragon King arrived. She ran in a straight line with incredible speed at Hesty and glomped onto her. I'll be in your care from this day forward. I thought she might at least hold back on the morning of departure. Hesty muttered with a hopeless face. And so Daiki-sama ... Good morning. Please treat me well. Yeah, best regards. I could say it was just as usual. The Dragon Kings gathered. Then, Diania-san's presence has appeared near the forest. Everyone will be gathered soon. Oh, I see. Thanks Sakura. It seems like Diania and the rest would arrive soon. There was plenty of time till the meeting hour. But everyone was early. Well, it would increase the time we would be able to play, and with that feeling we approached our departure time. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 188. Good morning Daiki Dano. I'll be in your care. Me as well. You're alone Diania? I definitely thought she'd come with Athena and Karen, but it was only her. Athena and Karen left before saying they had several preparations to make. It's only me. I see. Then I guess we'll meet up over there. In that case, I don't need to worry. I'd feel bad if some business kept them from coming with even though they were looking forward to it. Well, it's good that there doesn't seem to be a problem. So, are you prepared Diania? Yeah. My body and mind are perfectly prepared. I'm ready for it anytime, Diania said while blushing. It looked like she was looking forward to this trip in her own way. That's nice. Okay then I'll leave the transport to you. Yeah, leave it to me. Everyone's here. But what are we doing with Ramiros? She's still asleep, Diania said as her gaze rested on the sweetly dreaming Ramiros. It didn't look like she intended to wake up anytime soon. It's fine to take her with us, right Hesty? It's fine. Even if she doesn't wake up, it's not a problem. With Hesty's guarantee, we decided to bring her along, as you see. Got it. Also Daiki Dano. What? Diania spoke to me with a suddenly timid tone. She was staring behind me at the golems. Is there something wrong with the golem furniture? Furniture. I see. Furniture. You intend to bring those golems as well? Diania timidly inquired. Huh? Is it impossible? If it's over the number of people you can move then I'll decrease them. Well. It's not impossible. My abilities have increased so I can move everyone. I can but ... These aren't preparations for an invasion, right? That should be obvious. These aren't soldiers, they're furniture, nothing more and nothing less. Well, I guess they are golems. But as expected I treat these as furniture. I see. That's so ... Then I'll bring the golems along, Dana said, taking a deep breath and nodding. Those are ... Nothing at all ... Just tools and furniture, right? That's all they are to Daiki Dano. I heard some murmuring from her, but for now it doesn't seem like there was an issue. Since I've got permission to move them I had the golems gather behind me. It was a fairly far teleport. It seems quite difficult so I wanted to reduce her burden a bit. With this our movement preparations were complete. Okay then. I'm fine to go anytime. But did anyone forget anything? I called out to everyone reminding them to check their things. They all confirmed that they were fine and nodded. Well, even if they did forget they could come back and get it. It wasn't extremely far. That being the case I could set off so carefreely. Well, that aside everyone appeared to be ready, as I thought that. It's okay. Yes, we can go like this. I called out to Diania, who had been murmuring all this time. Diania, we're ready. Are you okay? Hi. Why yeah, I'm perfectly okay. She was startled by my voice for a moment but her expression tensed. Then, very well, let us depart. Teleport. Our trip began. Using Diania's magic we finished moving within seconds. There wasn't even a journey. Moments before we had been inside my garden. But at that instant my vision wavered. Then by the time my vision came back, oh, so this is the lake? A huge lake spread out before me with a beautiful blue sky above. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 189. Diania said as we arrived and spread out her arms as an appeal, showing off the view. You can use anything you see around here. Ooh, thanks for letting us use it. Even so, it's a pretty amazing place. I looked at the view that Diania was showing off and surveyed it once more. The bright blue sky and the beautiful lake spread out before us, the glittering white sand on the beach, the gentle movement of the lake along the water's edge. It was a place that made me wonder if this was really a lake. This is the first time I've seen a lake with such a beautiful sandy beach. You brought us to a wonderful place. Thank you, Diania. I thanked Diania. Oh, that's great. I've been causing you troubles all the time, so I'm glad I could do something to repay you a bit, she said bashfully. As she had said, this view truly surprised me. When I heard it was a private beach, I thought it'd be an amazing place. But I never thought it would be so beautiful. Master, this is some amazing scenery, huh? The wind feels good too. Yeah, you're right. The garden had a cooling breeze running through it. But the lake breeze truly had a different quality about it. Something about the smell of heated sand and the smell of water gave it a peaceful feeling. Unlike the garden, there was nothing to block the sunlight. This made the surroundings very hot, but thanks to the breeze and the view, the heat didn't feel uncomfortable. It's been a while since I've been back, but the lake is really nice. I agree. This place always feels good. The smaller Dragon Kings both had a happy smile. I'm glad they're having a good time. Sukatilda, Munya. Blue sky, white sand, and white Anusama is the best. Well, the big Dragon Kings were having fun in their own way. One was enjoying their sleep, and one was having a nosebleed. It was a bit dangerous. That's right, Diania. I was thinking of putting up a tree parasol. Can I do that around here? Yes, I don't mind. Okay then, right around here and wood golem, change. I buried an apple under the sand, grew it, and transformed it into a golem. With that a gigantic parasol was created. That's good. As always, you do things on a huge scale. Well, we have many people after all. Along with the parasol there would be a bench and other things, so I thought it would be best if it was large. For that purpose I enlarged the scale of the project. I'm glad that even though I buried it under the sand it worked out. Then I need a place to put the golems. Can I put them over there? Why yeah, I don't mind, but we do have a place prepared for you to stay. How about you leave them there? Is it really okay to borrow a place to stay as well? I asked, and Diania strongly nodded. Of course it is. Please experience all that this beach has to offer. We have food prepared as well, so leave the cooking to us. I see. Well, I'm grateful. I had thought I was only being given permission to use the beach. That's why I brought a tent golem, but it looks like I didn't need it anymore. Well, it was definitely a waste. So I should find a place to use it. Maybe we can use it as a place to rest while we're swimming. Be that as it may, we don't have any lodging issues now. Well, we have luggage, so I think it'd be best if I guide you to the lodging first. Athena and the others should be there as well. Oh, is that so? That's right. She had said they went on ahead. Then we'll go say hello and go from there. It's not like I had to leap right into the lake right this second. Let's go about it leisurely. Yes. Thank you. Then please follow me. And so we set off to the lodging Diania had prepared for us. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 190. It wasn't just one or two, but there were various cottages. It might be small compared to your home Daiki Dano, but please choose a place you'd like. One house can sleep 5-6 people, so you can use any of them, Diania said, and we went to divide up the rooms. However, can I stay together with Master? Yeah, I don't mind. Using one house each was a pain since Sakura and I usually stayed in the same room together. Then, same room as Anusama. Same room as Anusama. Sorry, but could I come too? If I'm alone, then that Kama would come. Yeah, I don't mind. With that Sakura, Hesti, and I would be using the same cottage. Well, it'd be the usual 3 of us like always. It's pretty wide inside too. It has large beds, a shower, and a kitchen. It was a spacious one-room cottage. It was large enough that the three of us could use it without inconvenience. This would be useful as a reference. I'd like to memorize how this type of structure was built. It was the perfect opportunity, so I'll make sure to remember. I'll probably be able to use it somewhere. Anyway, let's leave our luggage and go out. Okay, got it, master. I'll leave mine, too. So we left our luggage and went to leave when Daiki Ani Aizen welcomed Tilda. Athena emerged from the next door cottage. Then just like that she lightly dashed over. She was much more lightly dressed than before, probably because we were right by the beach. Oh, Athena, you look well. I'm doing great, Tilda. I've been training a lot for today and doing my best. I'm wearing my swimsuit underneath so I can swim anytime, Athena said, peeling the swimsuit under her clothes. It was frilly and cute. How is it? It's new. Does it suit me? Yeah, it's nice, Tilda. Yay. Thank you, Daiki Ani Aizen. As I felt warm watching the cheerfully laughing Athena, I thought, she must have really been looking forward to this. Then, hey Princess Athena, don't go running around. Karen appeared already wearing her swimsuit as she walked over briskly. She was wearing a pretty bikini that was perfectly fitted. I'm sorry, Daiki. Princess Athena was being forward. It looks like she wants to swim as quickly as possible. In any case, we'll be in your care from today forward. Being forward. I feel like you're the same, Karen. In fact, I feel like her clothes showed that she was the one who was most excited. Well, best regards. It looks like we'll be neighbors. It looks to be the case. For me it's quite wonderful, Karen said as her body shook with her laughter. As I thought, it's quite complicated to deal with these Dragon Kings. Their behavior isn't exactly ordinary. But whatever. Karen, we've greeted Daiki Ani Aizen, so for now let's go back to the room for a bit and wait for them. Yes, that's right, Princess Athena. Well, Daiki, we'll see you in a bit, they said and returned to their room. So it looks like they really came out just to greet us. It looks like their tension was much higher than usual. Well, Dragon Kings don't usually come to places like this. Really? We don't usually gather or do social activities like this. Going places as a group is very rare. I see. Dragon Kings usually take individual action. They seemed like they lived by their whims, so I could understand it. That's right. We should change too. That's right. Since we were already here, there was no need for normal clothing. For swimming or fishing, swim trunks would be appropriate. Okay, the order has been messed up. But let's change into our suits. Got it, master. We'll need sunscreen too. Yeah, I'll leave it to you. And so our first day in the resort truly began. Hesty, what are you doing? Drastic measures, Hesty said and indicated the baggage. Ramiro's that was still sleeping while lying on the sand. Fu Tilda, completely ignoring the shock from being dragged around. She was sleeping and drooling. Here we go. Hesty checked the position on the beach, nodded, and stopped. Slowly the sun began to shine directly on their position. She waited for a few dozen seconds. The sandy beach was heated by the beaming sun while heating up Ramiro's as well. So hot, Ramiro's cried out as she leapt to her feet. As expected, if it's the sand, heat, then even Ramiro's will wake up. Oh, of course it'll get me up. But that's so mean, Hesty, Ramiro's said with a completely red face. But Hesty only slightly closed her eyes and shifted her gaze. It's not mean. It's your fault for not getting up. We passed the promised meet-up time a long time ago. Promised Actually, where are we? I remember that I should be sleeping in Daiki-san's home. Where? At the lake. You wouldn't wake up, so I dragged you. With those words Ramiro's finally understood. That's right. Yes, I pulled you this far. You promised to wake up, but you didn't, so I pulled you. Sorry. I'm sorry, Hesty. I was so excited I couldn't sleep. I ended up going to sleep late. Ramiro's said while clinging to Hesty in tears. Hesty heaved a long sigh. She thought that it was just as usual. You really can't help it. Well, now that you're awake, it's done. There's a room over there, so go get prepared. G got it, Tilda. I'll be right back, Ramiro said and set off running. Hesty watched her and let out another sigh. It's fine, now. Hesty has troubles too, huh? Well, I'm used to it. Also, Manaril, it's been a while since you've been here. How is it? Even if you ask me, I've only been gone for a little while, so it hasn't been polluted too much. I sang a bit and purified it some, so monsters shouldn't appear. This lake naturally has bad magic power flowing into it. That's why Manaril was here to purify it. Since Cataracta was no longer here, she didn't need to do it nearly as often, but even so it was necessary. Well, it's still much better than when I needed to live here permanently. I'm really quite thankful to Daiki-san. That's right. He somehow took care of Cataracta, so we can play without a care. Normally, if they wanted to swim in the lake, they would need to keep Cataracta's poison in mind. However, this time they didn't need to care for a thing. Thinking that, her heart felt lighter. To think a day would come when we can swim peacefully like this. Really? But I feel like there was a dungeon at the bottom of the lake. Is that okay? There was a dungeon sunk in the bottom of this lake. It had come into existence long ago, and there weren't any monsters inside of it anymore. However, the magic stone device was reacting. If there was an abnormality, then she should tell Daiki and Diania, but there's no problem at all. In fact, Diania-san already knows about it. She also knows that it is at a standstill. Ah, is that so? Then there's no problem. Since they already knew this, then there shouldn't be an issue. Hesty thought this when, thanks for waiting, Hesty, Tilda, Ramiro's cried out as she ran over in her swimsuit as her chest shook and swayed incredibly. A short while ago she had been complaining about the heat as she held her cheek, but it seemed like she had already forgotten about it. Well, sometimes it might be good to take it easy and have fun, like Ramiro's. That's right, everyone's here too, so let's go swimming. The Dragon Kings laughed as they prepared to enjoy to their heart's content. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 191. There was a small pier nearby. Daiki was sitting on the pier with a straw hat on and his fishing line in the water. But, you're fishing already, Daiki-san? Oh, Manaril called out to me and sat down next to me. You're not swimming? Yeah, I can swim anytime. First I wanted to try the fishing rod I made. I wanted to test how my new product worked. That was the thought behind my fishing this time. In that way you're similar to Hesty. Hesty also can't wait when she makes a new wand and wants to hurry and test it. Haha. Well, Hesty is my teacher after all. I'd learn many things from her, so I may have picked up some habits. Foo. If she heard that, then she'd be happy. I wouldn't know. By the way, why are you over here, Manaril? Manaril as well. Are you not going to swim? Well, they look like they're having fun. It's just a little showy, Manaril said as her gaze slid over to the group. The ones who were standing out the most were Karen, Ramiro's, and Athena. Phew. This is a test of strength. Here I go, Princess Athena. Karen cried out with a spirited voice as Athena returned her enthusiasm. Karen grabbed Athena from under her armpits. Athena was sent flying into the air. Why, how fun, Tilda. Athena gave a cheer as she dropped into the lake with a big splash. 15-meter. Not good enough yet. Next is me, Tilda. Athena-chan, how about it? Of course, Ramiro's san, Tilda. Go for it. And with that the people and water splashed. It turned into a person throwing festival. Looks like fun. It is, but I think I'll hold back. I see. I'll pass as well, so I'll just continue fishing. For the first day of the vacation I wanted to abstain from such high energy antics. I see. So have you lured anything? For the time being I've lured Manaril. Foo. I guess so. I've been lured, but anything else? Well, I haven't hooked anything. I raised my fishing rod. The lure was in perfect condition as it hung in midair. After all, I didn't have a reel. I just moved the string and lure appropriately. Even with that, there were some small bites. However, I wasn't able to pull any in. If you want to get fish, then all you have to do is hit them with magic. But I don't think that's the point. Yeah. I'm glad you know. It isn't as if I wanted fish in particular. I just wanted to sample the atmosphere of peacefully fishing. Though this might be the excuses of a sore loser. Be that as it may, I was thinking how to fish better when Manuel grabbed the string. I was wondering what kind of thread this was. But doesn't it have too much magic? Is that so? Oh, I did use dragon materials, so it's probably strong. Yes. Not probably. Definitely. Most likely normal fish won't approach. Phew. I see. My inability to catch anything wasn't just from my inexperience. Even so, I don't know how to fix this. Maybe I should use different string. But if so, all this string would go to waste. It was very strong, and if possible I'd want to find a practical use for it. Finding different string should be my last resort. I was worrying over what I should do when, as expected, the string's magic is amazing. Hesty arrived with her straw hat on. Hesty. You say as expected. Do you mean you thought this would happen? I had thought it possible. I didn't know for sure until you tried. Is that so? Well, it turned out just how Hesty had thought. Do you have any countermeasures? And maybe you could use coating on it. It can be used on other things than people? It can. I'll give it a try, though it may change the feeling, Hesty said and touched my fishing line. Then, coating. She used her magic. The line was covered in a thin magical light which disappeared in a moment. Oh Tilda, you really can. I think this will work. How is it, Manuel? Can you feel magic power? No, not at all. It feels normal. I don't think this will be a problem. The two Dragon Kings say that the magic power has been subdued. That's good for me. Okay then, let's see how it goes. Resume testing. I have several fishing rods and fishing lines, so would you girls like to try? I will. Yes, I will as well. I'll take you up on your offer. With that atmosphere, the Dragon Kings sat on my sides and began fishing. I hope I catch something besides Dragon Kings from now on. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 192. Suddenly there was a change. Oh, the fishing rod suddenly dipped down. I've got a bite. The moment I thought that, I tried to raise my rod, but no. There's a lot of resistance. I pulled harder against the opposition on the end of my line. It seems heavy. Yeah, it is. I'll pull it up all at once. 1.2. Now, I pulled on the rod suddenly. I didn't know what I'd caught, but with this level of resistance it would be fine even if I overdid it a bit. That's what I thought as I forcefully lifted it. Then, wow, nice fish, Daiki-san. Yeah. Looks good. It was a glittering golden scaled fish with my lure firmly gripped in its mouth. It was over 60 centimeters in size. It looked tough. Seems like it was some big game. Congratulations. It's your first catch. Yeah, it's thanks to your advice. So, do you know anything about this fish? I'd never seen a fish with this kind of golden color in my life. It had sharp fangs and some things that looked like horns. I didn't know its name or ecology. It'd be bad if it was poisonous. That's why I asked, but no, I don't have much knowledge about fish. I'm sorry too. I don't really know much either. Even when I was living in this lake I usually just stayed inside. Looks like neither of them knows. In that case, the only ones I can ask are. My gaze wandered about and, Daiki Dano, so this is where you worked? What you have there is. My eyes were unexpectedly met with Diania wearing a pretty orange swimsuit. Furthermore, it looked like Diania knew about this golden fish. Phew, it looks like Diania knows. Know about it? Isn't this the spirit fish? How did you get one? Well, I fished it up. See, it still has my lure in its mouth. Fished it, the spirit fish. I just told the straight truth, but Diania was holding her hand on her chest to suppress her surprise. Did I do something bad? Does it have deadly poison or does it have religious significance? And no, that's not it. It's not poisonous nor is it religious. It's just that this fish has spirit fangs that can tear through fishing lines and nets with ease. It can even tear free of metal nets. It really makes fishermen fearful. Certainly its horns and fangs looked brutal. What's more, its body has a lot of magic power in it, increasing its power and endurance. That's why it's treated like a forbidden trophy. If it's angered, it will attack the other fish and living things. There have even been injured people, despite that there have been few times they were captured. Each of those times was by a mage fighting it underwater. It is that ferocious of an underwater creature. I see. So, is it delicious? I thought that was the natural next question, but it looks like she was surprised. I thought this region was one that ate fish usually, so I didn't expect this question to be strange. Daiki Dono, you intend to eat it? Yeah, it looks like it has plenty of meat on its bones, so you think it can be eaten? It doesn't have poison, so if it's delicious, I was thinking of eating it. How does it taste? I don't know. If I had to say, it's treated more as research material based on how strong it is. There aren't many who have eaten it. There was one researcher who took a bite to see. He said that it tasted quite good, but... Oh, is that so? Then it looks like we can eat it. Just in case, we'll check for poison, but for now we've gotten one thing for dinner. Okay then, I'll put this guy in the golem box, and I placed it inside the box golem and took the lure out of its mouth. Then I checked how the lure was doing. Okay. Looks like it's still usable. Let's keep going. I was about to throw out my line again when I thought, that's right. Would you like to try to, Diania? Then I'll accompany you. I'd lured one princess over and caught a fish. I'll keep going just like this. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 193. By the way, Diania, I went with the flow and had you start fishing, but was that okay? She had been searching for me when she arrived. I wondered if she had something she needed. No, that's not it. I was searching for you to give you this, she said as she continued moving the fishing line in the water. She pulled out a piece of paper and handed it over. I took a look at it. This is a sketch of the area? Yes, the beach, premises, and facilities are marked down. You can use them freely, but if you didn't know what or where they were, it'd be troublesome. Oh, thanks, it's helpful. I didn't have a clear idea of what I wanted to do, but now with a clear idea of what I could do, it made it easier. Also, if you want to buy something, there is a shop on the premises, so go ahead and make use of whatever you need. If you need a new swimsuit or something, you can go there. I see. Well, I received quite a few swimsuits from Man, so there's no issue with that. It's a little late, but I see you've changed outfits, Diania. At first my excitement over catching my first fish caused me to ignore it, but Diania was wearing a very pretty swimsuit. It was a bikini type that showed off her body line, but I thought the orange swimsuit really suited her tight body. I was thinking that when if you stare so much I'll get embarrassed. How is it? It shouldn't be too flashy, right? Diania said shyly as she blushed. Are you too embarrassed, or do you want me to look more? I don't get it, but yeah, I think it's cute. I don't have great aesthetic sense, but I can't tell that. The moment I said that, Diania's cheeks blushed a fiery red. Really? Thank you, Diania said joyfully, raising both her hands and gripped them into fists as she got closer. However, since she suddenly did that with the fishing rod in her hand, hey, the lure's flying, it's dangerous. As Diania spoke in confusion, the lure flew up and latched to the back of her swimsuit, catching it. The feeling of something suddenly hooking at her back made her jerk. Then the lure vigorously carried a portion of Diania's swimsuit away. My swimsuit. Diania panicked and hid her chest. I did see them jiggle down. But she hid them before I saw the most important part. Why did you catch yourself? Well, in the past I caught my own ear and clothes when I first fished. However, This is the first time I've seen someone so magnificently catch their own swimsuit. In fact, it looks like our fishing session's second catch of the day was a princess's swimsuit. That was quite something. This is the first time something like this happened to me, even though I used magic to keep my clothes from having a mishap. There's magic like that? Why yeah, it's an application of protection magic. You can use a slight amount of magic so that you can move as much as you please with it. No matter how you move, your equipment won't come off. It's magic with both practical and battle utility. Oh, I see. That magic wasn't just for swimsuits. It's magic that certainly has merit, preventing you from losing your equipment. But why did it come off even though you were using the magic? I looked up at the sky. The lure was floating up there with the orange swimsuit acting as a kite. It peacefully flapped in the wind. The lure has too much magic that it pierced the thin defensive layer. I made it out of dragon scale. Well, next time I need to be more cautious what I use. Using it for a hook is quite dangerous. As I thought that, I grabbed the lure and removed the swimsuit. I handed it back to Diania. Here, I'll turn away so you can put it on. Sorry. No, there wasn't any real harm. It's fine. I learned some new things as well. When using my lure, I need to take care. After all, it's not like this fishing equipment was for catching swimsuits. It wouldn't do so either. I'd just have to be more cautious. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 194. However, why are each and every one of these so sparkly? The ones I had fished all glittered like silver and gold. They were all fish with the luster of metal. Certainly there were fish with scales of a silver color, but I had never seen such fish that looked like they were cast from the metal itself. Furthermore, most of them surpassed 50 centimeters. They were huge. This was abnormal. This is Silverguard. It is a fish with scales as strong as metal. Diania shared her insight as she continued her own fishing. For that reason, even if you hook it, your line would break. And if you catch it, you can barely cut it. The line made by Daiki Dano is really amazing. Well, this line should be stronger than metal after all. Other than that, there seemed to be quite a lot of dangerous fish around here. There were fish that could bite through nets and fish that were basically covered in metal. Is it really okay to swim in these waters? Well, these type of fish usually stay deep at the bottom of the lake, so there's no issue. Plus, when people are swimming, there's usually a magic defense cast, so injuries are mostly avoided. What you talked about before. Yes. Also, Andano said that our swimsuits had defensive properties as well. They're enough to prevent skin damage. Oh, and swimsuits have that kind of thing as well? I thought they were just easy to wear and nice to look at. Magic is really convenient. Anyways, since I don't have to worry about swimming, let's relax. So is this Silverguard edible? As I thought you intend to eat it? Well, I fished it up. Of course I will. It's not poisonous, right? It's not poisonous at all. It is supposed to taste light and delicious, but the scales are the issue. You can descale them, but a normal knife won't cut it, right? It was as hard as normal metals, but I'll manage somehow. I still have some of Ramiro's scales. There were quite a few I had stored inside of my golems. They were initially for maintaining and creating new lures, but they could also be used to make a small knife. If it was just at the level of a slightly hard metal, then a dragon scale knife could cut it. I see. Okay then, if it's just at the level of normal metal, it means nothing to you. Well, it's not really to do with me. It's more the properties of the dragon scale. Leaving that aside, it's edible, so there's no problem. I'd feel strangely sad if I fished up an inedible fish. As I was thinking that, I heard a stomach grumble. The culprit was Hesty, who had been fishing next to me. I might be hungry, I think. I told you to stop doubting if you're hungry, but I guess that's right. It's about time to stop and eat. The sun was high in the sky. It was broad daylight. No wonder she was hungry. We'd been doing this since earlier in the morning. As I thought that, I looked at the map I'd gotten from Diania. There's an outdoor kitchen by the cottages. Do they have an iron plate and stuff like that? Yes, of course, we have everything you need prepared. We have ingredients and vegetables prepared as well. Got it. Okay then, we'll be cooking. If I cooked it well, then they should be tasty. Master, I've finished my preparations. Sakura met us partway. By looking at her, I could see she was wearing an apron over her swimsuit. Were you always on standby? No, I was swimming before. But when I saw Master catching fish, I got the kitchen ready for cooking. Oh, sorry for the trouble. Not at all. If we can make delicious food, then it's nothing at all. Sakura nodded with all her might. Looks like Sakura's more excited than usual since she was on vacation. Well, guess so. Let's gather everyone and let's get eating, I said, and this time Diania nodded. Well then, I'll go call the ones playing over there. Daiki, Dano, and you three please go on ahead. Got it. Let's go. Let's go. Then Sakura, the two Dragon Kings, and I headed over to the outdoor kitchen. We would be enjoying fresh food from the lake. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 195. Next to it was a cutting table where Sakura had left some vegetables. Sakura, we'll be preparing fish. Do you think a fillet is good? Ah, yes, but this is Master's vacation time. Is this alright? Well, it's this kind of place. I'll help out too. I'd like to handle the things that I caught, leaving aside the seasoning. Even I could cut up ingredients. From time to time I should do some work. Well then, please do. I'll be preparing the meat and vegetables that Diania arranged for us. Good. I'll be readying my fish and giving them to you, I said, and lined up the fish on the chopping board. I'll help as well. Daiki saw Matilda and trotted over with a big smile. I was wondering why her tension was so high when I saw a limp Hesty captured inside her bosom, and came over here after she caught Hesty. It seems she looked at me with eyes that had given up, so I didn't speak up. Be that as it may, I was happy that there was more people. Okay then, and take the fish out of the golem. They're full of life, so be careful. Roger that. I'd caught some dangerous fish, but as a Dragon King it would probably be fine. I thought such things as I looked at the spirit fish on the chopping board. The golden fish unexpectedly didn't struggle much. It had dangerous looking fangs and horns, so I put in some effort to restrain it. But anyways, I was able to safely handle it. Well, when you put your effort in, then nothing will escape, no matter how powerful or magical the fish is. Really, I'm not letting down my guard. If there was an injury during cooking, my tension would drop. Safely preparing food was the priority. That's right. So you can prepare fish? Well, to some degree, yes. However, I'd left such things to Sakura recently. It took me some time to remember my skills. I could easily fillet some fish. As I was thinking that, somehow, I thought we'd be eating the fresh fish in its entirety. Fresh. Hesty said something strange. Entirety? Bones and all? That's right. She nodded bluntly. Well, I guess I understood. This Dragon King was never concerned with food. And have Hesty's eating habits always been like this? I asked, and Anne awkwardly scratched her cheek. Yes, meat and fish. Though she might cut and scorch it, she usually just eats it whole, she said in a roundabout manner. I didn't think she'd do that for everything. This is a good chance. Hesty, if you'd like, you can try cooking. Even so, it'd just be cutting and tasting things, I asked, and Hesty timidly looked at my face. Is that okay? It looks like it wasn't that she didn't have any interest. Of course, there's not too many things I can teach you after all. Let's do it together. I've wanted to learn some cooking, too. It helps. Thank you. You're very welcome. I taught Hesty how to handle a knife while preparing the fish, and so we all continued to make our meal. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 196. Even though I say prepared, we only grilled the ingredients we'd arranged. We'd just be eating some grilled things on a plate. However, It was outside and on a beautiful beach. Maybe that was what made things so much more appetizing. Just like that I filled my stomach and, okay then golem, change into bed. I had the golem change into a bed on a sunny beach. Daiki Ani Aizen, what's this? It's something I made to let people lie down. After eating a big lunch there are definitely people who feel sleepy. Ah, is that so? Having a resting place is really comfortable. Yeah, but it looks like you're still energetic, Athena. She'd been moving actively since the morning, but she didn't look tired at all. It's been a while since I came here. But, Daiki Ani Aizen doesn't look tired either. Well, I've been sitting on the pier fishing the entire time. No, you fished up such huge fish, you know. Plus they were all strong fish like the spirit fish. It's amazing that you aren't exhausted. True, I had to pull with some force to get the fish, but my fishing rod and line were so strong and high efficiency. It might be thanks to that as well. Anyways, if you're tired you can rest here. I'll put up a parasol as well. I set up a parasol near the bed and covered it in shadow. With this they could avoid sunburn. Got it. Then I'll go swimming to tire myself out, Athena said and charged to the lake. It looks like she was overflowing with energy. I was starting to feel like swimming too. But, first I'd like to improve the fishing rod I made. I'd found various points for improvement. I'll put off swimming for a bit. I sat down on the bed and stared at my fishing rod but, as I thought, when you're at the beach you can't avoid getting baked. Even though I put up the parasol, the white sand reflected the light of the sun. Thanks to that the bed was getting hot. At this rate I might even get a sunburn. I should have laid down a sheet on the beach as well, I thought when Daiki saw Matilda. I brought some sunscreen. I wonder if she heard me? But Anne was dashing over the white sands, and, allow me to put it on you. She stood before me and strongly insisted. In her hand was a bottle of what I suppose was sunscreen. Honestly, if she gave it to me I would put it on myself. Let me put it on. I'll stick it on Daiki-sama's back. She said the same thing again. How much did she want to spread it on me? After all it's a chance to legally touch Daiki-sama's skin. Is it no good? Anne said timidly as she checked my expression. Well, I don't mind. In fact it'd be helpful. Thank you very much. Touching Daiki-sama like this is a reward. This Dragon King. She had such dubious eyes. In fact, I could see a small handprint on her cheek. You went to Hesti first, didn't you? Yes, Anu-sama pushed my face away and escaped, but thanks to that I was able to be with Daiki-sama, so it turned out all right, she said as her cheeks became flushed. This Dragon King never learns. Well, whatever. Put it on me. Okay. I laid down on the bed and gazed at the water's surface as Anne began to cover my skin. As I gazed over I realized that Karen and the others were gazing over here. Their eyes looked dangerous. It bothered me a bit, so I was hoping Anne would hurry a bit, but, well, since you're doing this for me I should return the favor. How about it? On me? Is that okay? Well, you did it for me. If you want, I'll do it. By all means please do. Alright, I'll do my best. Yeah, just do it moderately. And so, I was made resistant to sunburns by a Dragon King's hand. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 197. It wasn't anything impressive. I just had her lie on the bed and took the white lotion from Anne and started to spread it thinly. Daiki-sama's hand feels good. It was just that Anne was big in various ways, so I was having trouble finding a safe place to look. I could see her chest pressed to the sides as she was laying down. After all, well, let's get this done. I had Anne's permission, so I'll just quickly put it on and get this finished with. I was thinking that, but, I had a weird feeling and turned to look at the lake. There I saw Karen staring at me intently. She stood out on the white sandy beach with her well-balanced body and colorful swimsuit. I wonder if she has something to say. Well, when I finish putting lotion on Anne I can go ask, I thought, and returned my gaze to Anne. Then, I calmly moved my hands. But still, this suntan lotion is quite strong. It's really sticky. It is indeed. It uses special minerals and plants after all. However, its effectiveness is guaranteed, so please be at ease. Okay, well, you brought it, and so I didn't have any doubts that it would work in the first place, I said, and Anne peeked at my face with an embarrassed laugh. If Daiki-sama compliments me with such a serious face, it embarrasses me. It's true after all. Anyways, here, we're done. Thank you very much. Now that I finished rubbing lotion on Anne, I raised my head to take a breather when Karen was staring at my hand and the suntan lotion. In fact, she was staring over here while getting closer. A few seconds later she arrived in front of me. Daiki, I have a request, she said, gripping my hand. I kind of understood what was going to happen though. Karen, you want me to rub it on you as well? Yes, I want to savor the feeling of Daiki's hand as well, she said with sparkling shining eyes. Well, I do owe Karen for some things she's taught me. I suppose it'd be fine to do it with a feeling of repaying favors. Okay, then lay down over there. Yes, please. You don't have to get so fired up. With that, my Dragon King rubbing time was extended. After finishing my Dragon King service, I began my fishing rod improvements. First is coating. Next adjusting the line length, making the lure heavier. Since I got here I'd only been fishing, but it's fine since I was enjoying myself. It was fun to catch fish, so I had some motivation. If I wanted to swim I could hop in the water anytime. I'll fish until I'm satisfied. As I was thinking, I finished adjusting the line. With this my strength should be transmitted more easily. As long as I don't drop the lure into some place too deep. Well, if I wanted to go deep fishing I'd need to make a reel. I could make a simple reel to let out and wind up the fishing line, but I didn't feel it necessary. For now I'll go with this. I'll make it if I find myself in need. Okay then, time to try it out. Golem, follow me. I put on my straw hat and walked out from under the parasol. I wonder where I should fish now. Thinking that, I walked across the sandy beach. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 198. It was some distance from where everyone else was swimming. Why did I choose this place? Daiki-san, around here I feel the presence of a lot of fish. Manaril had said and guided me over here herself. Thanks Manaril. Sorry for making you use your sensing abilities for something like this. Her sensing ability was most comparable to sonar. She was able to sense places where fish gathered. I truly thought it was a waste to just use that ability for playing around, but foo-foo, it's fine. I'm enjoying myself helping you search for a fishing spot, she said and guided me. Then, by the time we got here I wasn't alone. I knew there were rocky places around here, but I never knew about this place. Diania had followed us. I ended up shaming myself with the swimsuit fishing incident this morning. This time I'll be helpful for sure, she had insisted enthusiastically. I didn't think she had to mind it, but she was conscientious. I thought as I would transform into a bench. I transformed a tree into a bench on the rocks. The stones were uneven, but this transformed tree could somewhat adjust itself to the unevenness. Because of that I could sit without worry. Here, you should sit too, Diania and Manaril. Take it easy. Thank you Daiki-san. Then I'll sit too. Then, as I was sandwiched between the two on the bench, I began fishing once more. A while later the fish tank golem was filled with a number of fish. I never thought the fishing would be this good. Normally fishing would involve more chance. Right now it felt that whenever I put my line out I just needed to wait a bit and a fish would bite. Somehow, it feels like I shouldn't make light of Manaril's power. Certainly there are plenty of fish here, but your line and lure are moving with suppressed magic power. That's why. I think this is mostly due to your own efforts. I'm not catching too many myself. Manaril had certainly not caught as many, but I think she was doing well enough. To begin with, I don't have the skill to get a bite on every cast. I am glad that it's happening though. Looking at the resulting big haul of fish, I was grateful. It's great that our dinner menu has increased, I thought. Daiki Dono. Sorry but can you help me? Diania was pulling strongly on her fishing rod. What's wrong? For some reason it's gotten hard to pull since a short while ago. I think it might have gotten caught on something. Caught on something? The line shouldn't be long enough for that to happen, I muttered while feeling the rod in Diania's hands. Then, I could clearly feel something pulling from the end of the line. Oh, it looks like you caught a big one. Really? But no matter how I pulled it wouldn't move. Diania had been standing and pulling the line, but it hadn't moved. It was definitely something heavy. Phew. Then I'll help you out. Then, I'll give you the rod and... No, that's not necessary. I moved to Diania's back and placed my hands over her hands on the fishing rod. At that moment Diania's face blushed bright red. Deaki Dano, what are you? Well, I'm just lending you some strength. I won't steal your catch. I was going to lend my strength, but Diania should be the one to finish this. Those were my thoughts when I took up this posture. Is that so? Is that so? Yeah, I just misunderstood. But, thank you Deaki Dano. No need for thanks. Let's pull it up fast. I'll be in your care. 1, 2. Diania and I counted together and pulled with all our strength. The fishing line started creaking, but as expected of dragon string, without snapping, it transmitted our strength and we pulled out what she caught. Then from the water's surface what emerged was octopus. Tentacle, a red and golden octopus tentacle. However, it was incredibly long and thick. Furthermore, that wasn't the only thing that emerged. Deaki Dano, something came out over there. Huh? I looked and saw from the opposite of the rocky shore the lake's surface was waving and bubbling. Then, splash! The water sprayed up, revealing a humongous golden and red octopus. It looks like she truly had caught a big one. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 199. That is one big octopus. I'll ask just in case. But it is an octopus, right Diania? I asked, and Diania slowly nodded without taking her wide-eyed stare off of the octopus. Why yes, I don't think there's an issue saying this is an octopus. But more accurately it should be a Sanzu octopus. It seems like Diania even knew the full name of this creature. Well, it was better to know the details of this creature. There were many things I'd like to learn just like this, but I needed more info on this creature. Are all the octopi in this world this big? And no, this is the first time I've seen such a gigantic one, Diania said astonishedly. Next to her, Manaril tilted her head. It might be the case that it increased in size once Cataracta left. After all, the magic pressure disappeared all at once. Diania started as if realizing something. Truly, if such a huge thing had been loitering around like this, things would be dangerous. I see. Well, I'll just treat it as if we've just seen a rare creature. But what are we going to do with it? We couldn't put such a giant creature inside the live fish tank. But at that moment Diania grasped my shoulder. Deaki Dano, there's quite some pressure pushing down on us. But you seem completely normal. Well, I guess. It's just an octopus. Certainly the giant octopus was looking at us with its huge eyes. I could feel some animosity. However, it looked like a normal octopus otherwise. It somehow took the stress out of the situation. It did look like it was hostile to us, so I suppose I should deal with it. Those were my thoughts as my limbs gathered on the rocky outcropping. Oi Diania, the tentacle you fished up is getting close to your feet. When did it? Diania leapt away. However, the tentacle was even faster as it sped close and grasped Diania's leg. And just like that she was restrained, to be captured by the thing she'd fished up. What was this princess doing? However, she wasn't the only victim. Wait, give it back. Manaril had gotten hit by a tentacle as well. It didn't seem like she was injured, but the tentacle had carried away the upper portion of her swimsuit. It was now stuck to a tentacle. How did this happen? Manaril said with a teary glare as she shielded her chest with her arms. It looks like this octopus's tentacles have quite a bit of magic in them. It seems like it was enough to break through the defenses that Anne instilled in the swimsuits. I guess so. Furthermore, the tentacles are so slimy with many suction pads. that just getting hit will stick and carry them away. Its tentacles were moving in a shrewd and unpredictable way. If we made any poor moves, it'd probably take the opportunity to grab us. Hi you. SL Slimy is no good. Now Diania was getting all teary. It's a pretty big catastrophe. Looks like she can't handle it, so I should save her. Where should I even begin taking down an octopus? I'd like to maintain its freshness, but I didn't remember where the right place to hit, so I didn't ruin it. If I just randomly attacked and destroyed it, it'd be a waste. Hi-you. As I was thinking, a knife flew from behind me and stabbed into the octopus. The octopus shuddered and suddenly stopped moving. I turned to see Sakura with another kitchen knife in her hand. She walked up to the octopus and struck it with the knife once more. You should aim here when preparing an octopus, master. Right here. Oh, okay. Seeing her stabbing an octopus between the eyes with a smile on her face was quite scary, but now that I knew where to aim, it should be easy. It seems like it's still moving. The octopus was moving while the knife was still stuck in it. It seems like the previous strikes had only stopped its movements temporarily. In fact, a tentacle was reaching towards Sakura. However, Sakura didn't mind and drove away the tentacle with her knife. It seems my knife was a little too short. Looks like it, but you can leave the final blow to me. Kongu Vajra, arm-only version. I equipped my arm with the wooden armor, the wood mallet. Let's do it properly. I wound up my fist and struck between its eyes. At that moment, a sound like a voice came out of the octopus, and at the same time its body turned completely white. It finally came off. Once the strength left the tentacle, Diania was able to escape. Thank you, Daoki-san. Manaril also safely recovered her swimsuit. It looks like the fuss was over. To stop such a huge creature with one move. As usual, you're incredible. Well, even if it was huge. It's an octopus. The amazing one this time was really Sakura, who knew exactly what to do. No. The one who gave a perfect finishing blow was Master. I'm just glad I was of help. Leave the kitchen and preparation to me, Sakura said with a laugh as she set off for the kitchen. Well, things got weird, but you fished up a big one, Diania. You? Really? I'm glad things ended up alright. We'd use this for our evening meal, maybe takoyaki or something. Be that as it may, the first day of our trip turned into a barbecue festival. My house is a magic power spot. Just by living there I become the strongest in the world. Chapter 200. Evening. We'd moved from the lake to the kitchen to have a slightly early dinner. The reason we wanted to eat early was to have the newly caught prey be as fresh as possible. More than that, this thing really is huge. For sure, the prey was too big. The grilling plate was mostly an octopus plate now. Well, we can use the golems to cut it up and get rid of it. Yeah, we can leave the hard labor to them. The golems were using their power to cut the octopus up into small edible pieces. The food preparation was done mostly by them. They put a little salt on and covered them with wheat flour. It was turned into a takoyaki kind of thing. But it was more like octopus skewers. Daichi-san, this is really delicious. It tastes really good. Well, it looks like it was popular with the Dragon Kings. Athena was also chewing on it. It looked like it was popular with humans as well. There shouldn't be an issue with the taste. Master, I made another. It's octopus marinade. Oh, thank you, Sakura. Sakura and I continued to make different types of octopus dishes as we ate. However, it was delicious even if we ate it raw like sushi. As we bit into it, there was a delicious type of umami that emerged. Since it's so big, I thought there might be a lack of flavor. But this is better than I imagined, I murmured. Just so you know, Sanzu octopus is a high-class ingredient. The flavor is guaranteed delicious, Diania said as she approached. Is that so? Actually, you haven't been eating very much. Are you okay? She'd been cooking all the time and not really eating. I was wondering why when Diania scratched her cheek bashfully. So you noticed? I'm a bit embarrassed. But I have a bit of trauma. No matter if it's a high-class ingredient, my hands can't help but stop when I try to eat. Oi, are you really okay? If I take some time I think I'll be able to eat. However, this Sanzu octopus should originally be around 30 centimeters. I was really surprised. Really, the originally 30 centimeter octopus turned into a 10. The author seems confused as to how big the octopus is. 5-meter giant. Cataract leaving had that much of an effect? I don't know. I wouldn't know much about this kind of thing. Manuel walked over from a pan covered in octopus mushiyaki. If it's about this lake I can answer. So you heard? Well, yes, I have good ears after all. Anyways, the reason this octopus grew so huge is the large amount of magic power flowing into this lake. That's why cataract leaving had this kind of effect. Are there any other factors? Manuel nodded and looked at the lake. This lake is connected to an underground water vein. Of course, Daiki-san's water vein is flowing a little bit to here as well. Is that so? Then that's why the water is filled with magic power. It's half a guess though. I think that this delicious huge creature is amazing, you know, she said and bit into the steamed octopus. With how easily she bit through it, it must be quite tender and delicious. Certainly, I think that such a delicious thing getting bigger is great. Yes, on that we can agree. Okay, we've a lot so I'll eat too. Our talk just now seemed to have reduced her traumatic feelings towards the octopus. Diana grabbed several octopus dishes from the grill iron. We'd caught various things and ended up in some trouble. But everything turned out alright, and so our dinner time passed in the twinkle of an eye.